Yo, good morning. Freedom marchers, freedom family, freedom lovers, and freedom fighters. Snapzilla Gorilla here, hollering at y'all with this quick live stream, or quickish. Good morning. Kelvin Black, what's good? Kelvin Black is in the building, but it's showing 0 viewers right now. Interesting. Please hit the like button when you guys get in the building so that we can get the algorithm kicking in. Queen Sister Cameron, good morning to you. Good morning. Peace and blessings to you. It is Tuesday morning, the 24th of June, 2025. And it's going to be a few hot days coming up. So you guys beat the heat, stay cool, get in the pool if you can.
Police reported ahead.
Be careful out there. Make sure you're drinking water with electrolytes. A full spectrum of electrolytes, not just sodium chloride or salt, right? We want to get in the potassium, the magnesium. We want to get in the potassium, the magnesium, sodium chloride. We want to get the full spectrum. But anyway, and I know I got to stay on top of my shit because I'm going to be working outside today. Well, my crew's going to be working outside. I'm going to be outside with them. But, leadership being what it is, you got to show that you can get out there and get dirty with them too. Anyway, so Iran retaliated against the United States. Well, it tried to by launching a strike against a U.S. military base in Qatar. Now, these missiles, these ballistic missiles they shot off, were intercepted and they were all shot down. So it was, for all intents and purposes, a weak attempt at retaliation for Donald Trump's criminal behavior. Donald Trump's criminal behavior in the fact that he launched a strike against Iran, right? Flew B-2 bombers into the country and dropped 12 3,000-pound bunker busters in their nuclear facilities, right? 3 different nuclear facilities, including the main one, which is Fordo. Now, reports are saying that, they completely obliterated. Like, it's completely destroyed. But how do we know that? How do we really know? Unless we hear from Iran themselves. And Iran is not saying that. But nonetheless, Donald Trump is a criminal. He committed a crime against Iran. Iran, which is a sovereign nation, who, if they want to start a nuclear program for building nuclear weapons to power their country, it is their right. They have every right to do so, but of course, we, the United States, we have to try to police everybody. We, the United States, who dropped the only 2 nuclear weapons on a country in an act of war in the entire world, in the entire history. But we're going to tell somebody else that they can't even start a nuclear program. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Jay with Open Eyes 4, salute to you. What's good, man? Or Jay with Open Eyes, what's good? Oh, yeah. Well, Jay with Open Eyes, it's a dog and pony show for show. Now, here's the thing. For decades, we have been hearing about the Iranian threat, particularly from Benjamin Nesferatu. He has been spewing this bullshit about Iran being a nuclear threat. Oh, if in a few years they'll be able to launch nuclear weapons. It's always been a few years. Every few years, it's a few more years, and Iran will start launching nuclear weapons against other countries. That has never happened. Why America support Israel? Well, Owais, it is because Israel is the U.S. daddy. They're our daddy. Point blank and period. Israel is daddy. Okay? So that's what it is. It's just the bottom line to it. But for all these decades, for all these years, they have been telling us that Iran is a nuclear threat. A nuclear threat. Yet, Iran has yet to threaten or even test nuclear weapons in their country. Right? They have yet, well, I don't know, they might have tested them. But, so what if they did? We've tested them in our country. North Korea tests them, and we don't launch missiles against. You know what? That's a great question. Okay, if Iran is our enemy, and they present a nuclear threat to the United States, and we bomb the shit out of them, we bomb their nuclear facilities, then why aren't we bombing Russia's nuclear facilities? Why aren't we sending B-2 bombers to China and bombing the shit out of their nuclear facilities? Why aren't we flying into North Korea and bombing the shit out of their nuclear facilities? How is it that Korea can launch missiles into Japanese waters to troll Japan? Well, how is it that North Korea can, against the orders of the United States, continue to build nuclear weapons and to test those nuclear weapons? Why is it that Israel is not launching strikes against North Korea for their threat of nuclear power? Can anybody answer those questions? Why aren't we bombing the shit out of Russia, China, and North Korea? What was it? What was it? If Iran had nuclear capabilities, literally, if they really had nuclear capabilities, or if they had the program, if they were part of MAD, right? If they were part of MAD, if they were involved in MAD, you know what MAD is? MAD is an acronym for mutually assured destruction. If Iran indeed had nuclear capabilities and they were a nuclear threat, we would not be bombing their nuclear facilities, right? Because we have yet to bomb this fucking asshat, bro. Riding up my motherfucking ass. I hate that shit. Stupid ass motherfucker. Anyway, yet we haven't bombed any other country that we said had nuclear weapons or had a nuclear program we had an issue with. Why is it that Iran can't have nuclear weapons, but China, Russia, and North Korea can? When these countries pose more of a threat than Iran does to the United States. North Korea is part of, so North Korea and South Korea are on the same contiguous land. You know what that means? That means that the land is together. It's not separated by a body of water. It's only separated by 1 mile DMZ. North Korea and South Korea. North Korea has weapons, has missiles, not nuclear missiles, but they have missiles pointed at U.S. military bases in South Korea right now. that they can launch at any moment. And they will wipe out every single U.S. military base within minutes, if they so chose. Now, could we intercept many of those missiles? Yes, we can. We can intercept many of those missiles. So we can intercept them like we intercepted Israel's or Iran's. But North Korea will launch barrage after barrage of missiles into South Korea and destroy military bases, U.S. military bases. This was the reason that we were given, essentially, that we had to attack Iran, is because they could do the same thing to Israel. They could do the same thing to Saudi Arabia. They could do the same thing to Kuwait. You know, our allies in the Middle East. Well, if that were true, if Iran was truly a threat, then we would not go about it the way we're going about it, right? We have been trying for years, the United States, to regulate Iran's nuclear program. We have been trying to go in there and see what they're doing. We have been trying to do all that. And we have sent people over there, right, to inspect their shit, or try to and have. Why is it that we have never been shown evidence that Iran is actually building nuclear missiles? Y'all remember when they said that Iran was helping Iraq with weapons of mass destruction? Remember that? They tried to throw Iran into that, right? It started with harboring Osama bin Laden after 9/11. That's what it started with, when they wanted to invade Iraq. That was the excuse they used. Oh yeah, well, they're harboring Osama bin Laden. Then it was weapons of mass destruction. Then it was, we gotta spread democracy. Remember that? Ahead. It was about democracy at the end of the day. It was about freeing the Iraqi people. They didn't give a shit about that at the beginning. They said, no, Iraq is, they have weapons of mass destruction. They're using their chemical weapons against their own people. These were fucking lies. These were lies. They said that Iran was providing material to Iraq for weapons of mass destruction. They showed us pictures. Y'all remember that? They showed us satellite pictures. They showed us satellite X-ray images of a bunker in Iraq. They said, look, see right there? There's some weapons of mass destruction right there. Yet, when we invaded Iraq, no one found any weapons of mass destruction at all. Not in the location they said it was, not anywhere else. No. A weapon of mass destruction being, like something that could wipe out a large swath of land with a large swath of people, not necessarily a nuclear weapon. It could be a chemical weapon, it could be a biological weapon, it could be chemical weapons. Hell, a weapon of mass destruction can be an EMP. But they found none in Iraq.
Watch out, vehicle on shoulder ahead.
They said they were gassing their own people with mustard gas and all that type of shit. None of that shit happened. We used every lie in the book that we could use to invade Iraq. To lynch. We literally lynched Saddam Hussein. Saddam Hussein was a leader of a country no different than any other leader of any other country, right? Except he was not shy about being a dictator, right? But, being a dictator in a country where government rules, he did what he did for his people, right? He went by Sharia law and all this nonsense, Sharia, whatever, all that shit. But the bottom line is this. Iraq was no threat to the United States. There were no threat to Kuwait after we beat them off of Kuwait. Remember that? Took us 2 months and they surrendered. 2 months. 2 months to end the war in Iraq the first time. Desert Storm. 2 months. We defended them against Kuwait. And Kuwait had to pay the price. Kuwait had to pay the price in black gold. You understand what I'm talking about? We never do anything for no reason, right? So what's the deal with Iran? Why smack Iran like we did? Iran is no true threat to the United States. That is clear. All right? At least not at this point in time. But see, soon after we found out that Iran would try to retaliate by launching missiles against the United States bases in Qatar, Donald Trump came out and said that there is a ceasefire in place. This is what Donald Trump said. Iran, for as far as I know, as of this moment, I'm not sure if Iran or Iraq came out to speak about it. Lovely soul, good morning to you. Fred, good morning. Slow entropy was good. Salute to you. Iran was wrong. Iraq was wrong. But if Iran had enriched uranium, it would be a huge problem. Why? See, what you just said was begging the question, right? That's what entropy just said. What entropy's statement is begging the question. It is assuming you're presenting your premise as if it's fact. I did not have an opportunity to do the live stream like I wanted to this weekend. I was doing shit with the family, but we will get on that. Let me guess. If he takes off balding, Xavier McLeod, why are you concerned about my head? Y'all are weird. Y'all some weird individuals. Balding, I'm shaved. I have a shaven head. I don't understand why that's important. So, entropy, I like the name entropy. I like that name. But the problem is with your statement is that it is begging the question, because you're saying that if Iran had enriched uranium, that would be a problem on a global scale. What proof of that do you have? Where do you get that from? Where do you get that statement? Like, what made you believe that? What have you seen in the history of Iranian existence that shows that the possession of simply the possession of enriched uranium makes you a threat on a global scale? The United States has enriched uranium. Are we a threat on a global scale? What has Iran done in the history of its existence to show that if it had enriched uranium, or if it had any capability or any inkling to cause harm around the world, what have you seen? Because I can tell you that the United States is a threat on a global scale based on the history of America's existence, based on the activities of the United States around the world, based on the influence that the United States has around the world that is a danger to many countries. But Iran does not have that. Iran has no history of that. Iran has never dropped a nuke on any country. Iran has never hit countries with sanctions because it didn't do what they wanted, what Iran wanted them to do. Iran has never done any of that. Iran has never acted like the world police. And that if you don't do what we say, we're going to create problems for you. So Iran having enriched uranium does not automatically mean that they're going to be a threat. That doesn't mean that. Y'all have to understand that there are thousands of nuclear weapons in the world right now. Thousands. Thousands upon thousands of nuclear weapons. And to suggest that Iran should not have them because we don't like Iran and Iran don't like us, well, you just have to get the fuck over it. Because we got over North Korea having nuclear weapons, did we not? Did not Trump cross the DMZ and shake hands with Kim Jong-un, a selfish, narcissistic little prick that starves its country people, that puts all its resources and money into the military, and everyone else are treated like peasants. They test nuclear weapons all the time. They launch missiles into Japanese waters. They threaten the Japanese on numerous occasions. They threaten South Korea. They do all this, hit something around, them the fuck out, because they know that we cannot shoot back as long as they don't hit anybody. Aberdaba Chukachaki says he is ignorant. Who are you referring to? Who are you talking about? I know these things because I was stationed in South Korea. We did a shift at the DMZ. They will shoot at your equipment, right? They'll shoot around you. They'll shoot the ground. They'll do that. Not trying to hit you, just to fuck with you. North Korean soldiers are trolls. They'll troll the shit out you because they know it is what it is, right? Y'all still talking about my head. Oh boy, y'all are something else. Still talking about my head. It is what it is. That's crazy. I mean, listen. The bottom line is Iran is no threat right now. But here's the brilliant thing. If the ceasefire is true, and it appears that Iran agreed to a ceasefire, as well as Israel. So they're saying that both Israel and Iran agreed to a ceasefire, a permanent ceasefire, that will happen in gradual, that will happen gradually, right? There will be a 12-hour, 24-hour, and then so forth and so on. There are going to be stages of a ceasefire. The brilliance of this is that it would appear that Donald Trump forced a ceasefire by launching these bunker busters into Iran. It's going to appear that Trump is a brilliant strategist, or the people that inform him, the people that guide him, the people that give him recommendations and tells him what he should and shouldn't do based on the circumstances. We're going to appear to be brilliant. So everybody that had a problem with us dropping bombs in Iran, well, especially like the Republicans that spoke out, like Marjorie Taylor Greene. And Marjorie Taylor Greene was right on point when she played her part in the stage play and went against Trump for it. But she's going to come around if the ceasefire is real. Trust me on that. Because it's going to appear that the things that everyone said would happen, everyone that was anti-attack Iran, that was anti-Trump on this, well, they're going to have to eat crow, right? Because We're saying that Donald Trump sparked World War III. That's what they're going to say. They're going to say, oh, Donald Trump, he sparked World War III, dropping bombs in Iran. Oh, it's on now. It's on and popping. Oh, shit. But if they do have a ceasefire and it's done, and there is no further conflict from this, Donald Trump is going to look brilliant. Let me tell you guys that. They're going to look brilliant. And you know what? I missed it. This was one possibility that I did not even consider. I considered many things. I considered, well, Iran could surrender. The Ayatollah could step down, right? Stormy B-Man, salute to you, brother. Stormy B-Man's in the building. It could have been that, Iran surrendered, and it could be, and it still could be that gets replaced by a puppet. But if all that happens is the conflict ends and there's no further bloodshed and there's no other further conflict for right now, and let's say there's nothing happens for the next 2 or 3 years, this is going to go down in history books as one of the most brilliant things that Donald Trump did. But see, I understand the play. Right? Because I told you guys weeks ago, or I told you guys when Israel first attacked Iran, and I also told you guys around October 7th when they started blaming Iran for supplying weapons and using all these countries as proxies to attack Israel. I told you guys that because of the position that Russia's in with Ukraine and all that stuff, they had to focus on Ukraine. Iran is not going to be in the position to do much against Israel and the United States. Now, they were able to get back at Israel to a degree, right? They launched missiles against Israel. They hit some hospitals. They hit Tel Aviv. You know what I'm saying? And they could have gone back and forth for months and months and months, because again, remember, Israel is also in a campaign against allegedly Hamas and these other groups. So it would have been, and listen, let me tell y'all something. Israel is still stronger than Iran, right? Especially because they're using our weapons, they're using our technology, they're using our resources to attack. And then again, Iran used some Russian missiles, Russian weaponry, Russian equipment to attack Israel, right? But Russia cannot step in to help Iran right now. China does not want to step in right now because they eventually want to invade Taiwan, right? They want to focus on that. North Korea already sent soldiers to Russia, right? So everybody, all of Iran's allies cannot step in to help right now. So guess what? Iran's an easy mark. That's why Israel attacked, right? Israel attacked because Iran's an easy mark, and they want to spread their empire across the Middle East and further. But right now they're focusing on the Middle East, right? And Iran is the last thorn in the side. So we'll see what comes of this ceasefire, right? I'm very interested to see if this actually happens. I want to see what Israel says. I want to see what Iran says. I want to see what the agreement was. What does Iran have to give up? That would be the question. What does Iran have to give up? Does the Ayatollah have to step down and get replaced? What has to happen? Who's spreading an empire? Israel. What? Israel is spreading an empire. I thought I was clear on that. Right? Iran is not an easy mark. How you figure? Iran is an easy mark right now. Iran is an easy mark right now. Yeah, because Iran was an easy mark for Israel because they know that we would eventually step in to help Israel with their criminal campaign by aiding and abetting and becoming criminals ourselves by attacking Iran. And then Iran retaliated by launching missiles. And they were shot down. They were shot down. It was an unsuccessful attempt. Now, there are other ways Iran can play right now. They can use cyber attacks. They can activate cells in the United States. They can do that. They could do that. They can activate cells in the United States. They can do all that. But it will bring a lot of heat on them. You understand what I'm saying? So let's say there was, and that's what we're waiting on. Oh, trust me. Trust me. All we need is a little 9/11 Gulf of Tonkin type of event. Weapons of mass destruction. We need something. But Iran is not going to do that right now because if anything like that happens and it points to them, they will get wiped out. They'll get wiped out. So yeah, that makes Iran an easy mark. It makes them an easy mark at this moment. Right? But if Russia, let's say Russia had invaded Ukraine and successfully invaded and conquered Ukraine and took it over, right? Absorbed it back into the Soviet Union, so to speak. Then Russia would be very free right now to back up Iran. It would be a stalemate at this point in time. It would be a stalemate. You know what I'm saying? So that what would happen would be if Russia were there, if Russia were fully capable of assisting Iran, well, we would not have gotten involved as we have, right? We would let Israel and Iran duke it out. Russia would assist Iran and we would assist Israel, and they would go at it, and that would be the extent of it. And then whatever happened would happen, right? And don't get me started if China was freed up to do some shit. What movie is this Black Panther says? It's called The Kabuki Theater. It is like a movie. I agree with you. I agree. It's a bunch of bullshit. But see, y'all think that this is a game, right? Y'all think that, and it is a game. It's a game to these people, to the elite class. They're moving pieces on a chessboard, right? They're in their ivory towers moving pieces on the chessboard, and they think it's a game. Yes, Matt Kelly, it was a criminal strike. It was a criminal strike. Donald Trump attacked a sovereign nation for no reason that posed zero threat to the United States. I know you guys want to think that Iran is a threat to the United States, but they have made no such threats to the United States at all. They have never attacked the United States. They don't like us, right? During the Iraq War, they may have had some involvement, right? But that is because Iraq is on the border, Iran, right there on the border. And they have groups, right? So this is what, see, y'all have to look at the geography of the Middle East over there. So you got Iraq on one side of Iran, and you got Pakistan and Afghanistan on the other side. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. Look at a map. Y'all tell me where Iran is situated. Now, what is the country of Iran sitting on? What was the country of Iraq sitting on What is the country of Kuwait sitting on? Kuwait is bordering Iran as well. So y'all think that these imaginary lines exist and that there are like true partitions. There's no partition in the earth. They're all the same land, right? They just draw these lines to mark out territories. Iran sits on what?
Watch out, vehicle on shoulder ahead.
What does Iran sit on? What does Iraq sit on? What do y'all think about this? You know there were wars over salt way back in the day. They used to have wars over salt, resources, minerals, shit like that. Y'all think this is about nuclear weapons, nuclear capabilities. That's what y'all think this is about. That's what they'll have you convinced this about. That's what Benjamin Nosferatu has been saying for decades. Oh yeah, this is if we let Iran continue their nuclear program, they will launch missiles and this and that and the bullshit, right? Nothing that ever happened. Benjamin Nosferatu has been spitting this bullshit for years. We have been spitting this bullshit for years. That Iran having a nuclear program is a problem for us. Oh boy. That's what we're convinced of that. We're convinced that Benjamin Nosferatu is telling the truth. But when? When was it? When was it? Never was. And so what if they did? So what? We have them. Israel has nuclear weapons. Israel has nuclear capabilities. Why can't Iran have them? But nonetheless, y'all think this is about that. Oh boy. No, this is about resources, y'all. It's about control. It's about controlling a region. And it's about resources. It's about controlling a region with resources. You see, at least when Russia invaded Ukraine, they were honest about why they were doing it. Because of the location, because of a certain area of Ukraine where Russia wanted access to the resources. They were honest about why they were invading Ukraine. Yeah, part of it was absorbing Ukraine back into the USSR or the whatever you want to fucking say. Yeah, part of it is about that. But did y'all know that there were factions within the Ukraine that wanted to be Russian? Lomachenko was one of those guys. Lomachenko is a Ukrainian that wanted to be a Russian. I don't know if y'all knew that. Vasily Lomachenko, the boxer, he was one of those individuals that felt like the Ukraine should be part of Russia once again. Then they got all in his ass. The Ukrainian people got all in his ass. Oh, that's false, warlord? Okay, prove me wrong. Okay, that's false. I don't know if you're talking to me or not. I really shouldn't be paying attention, y'all, because there's so many comments right now. Lomachenko was a Russian sympathizer. Miguel says I'm very dangerous. Okay, thank you for letting me know. Jesus wasn't real. Y'all are funny. But anyway, y'all. Iran's failed attempt. Here we go with the minor mouth supporters.
Watch out, vehicle on shoulder ahead.
Number one, me and Minor Mouse never fought. We had a sparring match. We had a sparring match where I was focused on something and he was focused on something else. We never had a fight for him to beat my ass, and he barely hit me. So that's irrelevant. But just so you know, you are speaking up for a child molester, because that's what Minor Mouse is. Minor Mouse is a convicted child molester who pled guilty to it. Pled guilty. He took a plea deal for child sexual assault. That's what he did. Pled down to that. Anyway, this guy is so wrong, it's actually hilarious. Okay, JJ. I love how y'all say things like that, but you don't tell me where I'm wrong at, or how, or tell me what the truth is. If I'm wrong, tell me what's right, or tell the chat. Tell the chat what's correct. I said the failed attempt by Iran to retaliate shows that they're no real threat. Where am I wrong? Did they succeed? Did Iran succeed at their attempt to launch missiles against the United States in the Middle East? Did they succeed at that? If they didn't, right? If they didn't, and then immediately after that, signed a ceasefire, how are they a threat? How am I wrong? Tell me that. Tell me that. What am I wrong about? Is Iran not sitting on rich resources? Aren't there lots of things in the ground that lots of people would like to have? Did our government not lie about weapons of mass destruction in Iraq in order that we would be okay with invading them? Did not our government tell us that Saddam Hussein was gassing their own people, and that turned out to be a lie? Where am I wrong at? Where am I wrong? Didn't I say that Israel would strike Iran directly? I said that. I said that last year. I said Israel would eventually attack Iran directly. I said that, and that's what happened. Where am I wrong? What was it? What was it? Was I wrong when I said Bibi Nosferatu was saying for decades that Iran was going to build all these nuclear weapons and just start throwing them at people, and they're going to be a nuclear threat? Hasn't he been saying that? Didn't he give timelines? Didn't he give, he said, and by the end of the year, Iran will be this and Iran will be that. Did he not say that shit? Go look it up. I have no reason to lie. What did I say that was wrong? Didn't they lynch Saddam Hussein? You can go watch the video. Didn't they hang that motherfucker? That's lynching. They hung Saddam Hussein. They got the people of Libya to drag Muammar Gaddafi into the streets and kill him with no dignity. Undignified murder of Muammar Gaddafi after they made an attempt in 1984. They attempted to murder Muammar Gaddafi in 1984. Ronald Reagan made the order. See, this is not the first time we have done this, something like this, against people of a country that we want something from them, or they're a threat in some form or fashion. Not a threat to the people, but a threat to the agenda. Or they have their own agenda that would topple and destroy our very grasp and stranglehold on this country or on the world, right? Our influence would be greatly diminished by these people's actions if we allowed them to do things. Muammar Gaddafi was trying to create an African Union wherein they would trade amongst each other with pure gold. He was trying to get all of the United States, all of Africa, on the gold standard, which would cripple the dollar, right? It would cripple the dollar. So he had to go. He had to go. They couldn't have that. I know you guys, y'all, see, your minds are getting discombobulated because you guys are stuck in the left-right paradigm line. You guys are either Republican or Democrat, and you know, when you see the real agendas, it kind of boggles your mind. You don't want to accept what is reality. The reality is that our government does not act in the best interest of its people. No. If you consider yourselves to be its people. No, they act in the best interest of the elite class. Right? At some point, the government was co-opted by a certain elite class of people, particularly the bankers, that manipulate and pull strings behind the scenes. I know you guys want to say it's a conspiracy theory. Oh, this guy's wrong, and this, that, and the third, and this, that. It doesn't. I don't care. Y'all can go look it up, or it doesn't matter. Y'all can just go ahead and, when you see the evidence of what's going on, y'all can just ignore it and say, oh, well, whatever, right? And we can continue to live in existence where, that we continue to play a part. We play our part. We're bit players in the theater, but we still play our part, don't we? And then, of course, you got guys like me. You got guys like me that try to connect the dots to show you guys what's going on. But they created a term for people like me. The CIA did in particular, way back in the day, called conspiracy theory. Right? The CIA came up with that term to discredit people that don't fall for the bullshit and try to expose it for what it is. That's what the CIA created that term for people like me, so that people like you guys, not all of you guys, no, not all of you guys. I'm speaking in general because I really can't read the comments, but not like that. They created that term to discredit people like me that try to think critically and don't believe everything they hear and only half of what they see. And hell, can we even do that anymore with this AI bullshit? They can make you believe anything with AI now. You know what I'm saying? My question is, how long has AI been around, though? That's a good question. Because at first they called it deep fake. It was deep fake. Technology can be great. Technology can be great. JJ says I'm literally wrong. You say that Iran is no threat, but literally gave an example of how they are. How did I give an example of how they're a threat to the United States? JJ, what the hell is you talking about? How did I give an example of how Iran is a threat to the United States? Because they launched missiles that got intercepted and blown out of the sky, and then signed the ceasefire. How are they a threat if they agreed to a ceasefire after they could not? Sleeper cells. You know what's funny? Do you guys even know what make up sleeper cells? It could not even have to. Do you know that 9/11? All right, for 9/11, they said that 9/11. They said that was orchestrated by Osama bin Laden. But most of the perpetrators, most of them were, what were they? Saudi Arabian. So these sleeper cells don't even have to be Iranian. They could be Iranian sympathizers or any sympathizer of a country in the Middle East that they sympathize with. You know, you didn't get shit. You got nothing, JJ. Because a sleeper cell can consist of Americans. A sleeper cell can consist of Americans that are fed up with government bullshit. It could be a group of people that see this launch against Iran and say, you know what? This is some bullshit. Let's do something. That a sleeper cell, you don't know what these sleeper cells are made up of. JJ, go find me a sleeper cell that consists of Iranians, right? Find one. They had to be Iranians and take directions and instructions directly from Iran. But even if there are sleeper cells that are Iranian, Boricua for life, yes. Iran has a right to defend themselves. Point blank and period. And guess what? They're not a threat. We're the threat. So if there is a sleeper cell in Iran that attacks us, it is because they're defending themselves. They're defending themselves against a threat that is the United States government. That is the reality. Because if Iran was really a threat, when they launch those missiles, they would have something better for us to come back with without doing a ceasefire. And we would not have to, Iran was defending themselves. So we're the threat. That's the bottom line to it. Anyway, I got to get out of here, guys. Much love. Like, share, subscribe. And we're going to keep marching forward toward freedom. Peace. Thank you for hitting that like button. Thank you for coming through. Thank you for the healthy discourse. JJ, I ain't even mad at you, man. Go ahead and challenge me. I like being challenged. It's all good, man. It's all good, JJ. It's all good. We'll find out soon enough, though, right? If Iran is really a threat, we'll find out. They are, or we'll find out they're not. Anyway, much love, like, share, subscribe, and let's keep marching forward toward freedom. Peace.